Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing, and another quick update here. We're going to start with the XRP. You can see we're zoomed out as we always start from a far out time frame and work our way into a closer time frame to get a super simple, easy way to trade this manipulated market and sidestep and audible the criminal gangster cartel, the Ohio State University graduates that have infiltrated the trading market in order to knock down and beat down the retail trader and investor into a state of submission. All right, but now here at Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing, we help you sidestep, audible to profitability by staying 69.5 steps ahead of the criminal gangsters and the competition on YouTube and the fleecers and charlatans and hustlers and heisters, right? But at Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing, we make it super simple and easy to trade this market, and that's why we start in the daily time frame up there when we start these coins. And we're just going to mark our volume indicator profile range. This is where the major trading has been. So on any break up into the future, we'll drag this way out. This is going to be your major overhead resistance right here. If you're trying to ever get bullish, if you break up from a pump, from a dump, this is what you got to break to get bullish. This is in the way. This is like a dynamite in the way, a freight train in the way of a smart car running into it, right? The freight train's going to win, and that's what's up here. But that's for another time and another discussion. But now as we zoom on in here a little bit closer, you can see we hit our target right there. We hit our 46.69% flush from right here, right? If we take our measuring tool, industry exclusive, we called the flush from there, and that was back on October 12th. And you can see we flushed to the bottom. We actually overshot my target. We got down to 58 cents, and that was a 52.77% crash. Vincenzo was calling for a 72-cent target, and it was about a 41.69% crash, or 46 from the actual top when it came up there, but a phenomenal call. And now you can see what we've had recently is you got your overhead major sell pressure. I mean, I don't have to tell you that there's a barrier right here on a descending angle. We're going to make that smaller, and then we're going to turn this into some friendly color right there, and then we're going to lock it. But that's major overhead resistance. And then if we do another one, we have major underneath support right here that it's been following. Yes, it's had some wicks, but I like candle bodies. And if I took it into the candle bodies even more, you could say it's tighter like that, but we're going to expand it. Yeah, we're gonna keep it at the candle body. See that in the daily time frame, and then you have the fake out and flush, and then now you're trying to trade back into it. So now we know what we got going on there. So now we can zoom on in from the daily time frame to the 2-hour time frame, and you can see more clearly what's going on. We had that flush, right? Overshot the 72-cent target on the big volume right here. Big spike in volume, big flush right there, right? See that candle wick right here? You had the big flush, right? So we see that right there, and then we came back up, and now we're trying to get back within. Let's zoom this way. We're trying to get back within this falling channel that we were in, right? So we wicked off our fib circle, got bought back up, but got rejected by your overhead resistance, traded down, then traded back up, got rejected for a second time, traded down to the short-term moving averages. Then on the third rejection, it built some steam and pumped back into this triangle. You see that? It got rejected 3 times. It took 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection, and finally a pump back up into this triangle. And then once you did that, you shot all the way up like we were talking about. That's why we still keep that there to remind you at 92 cents. We said that was overhead resistance. And then we thought it would trade back down to the 76-cent level after it got rejected, but it came down to the lower support first. It's traded back up. So it looks like it's starting to run out of steam, which there is very little to no volume. It's the way it's been for quite some time now. And it looks like this may try to do this and this, and then retest it right over here, right where this corner meets. And that would be on the 12th, which would be on a Sunday. So we're going to move this target over here a little bit. We're going to say this is where it's going to hit it it would bring it up a little bit to 78 cents. That is your underneath major support right now, is that fib circle right there, because that's where you hit it on the wick and overshot it down a little bit. And that's the same ring that's uptrending this way. That would be your major support here to try to get a bounce, right? Hit that and then try to bounce up, and then your major overhead resistance would be up here, right? So that's what we could be trying to do, something like that. Let's put a little price label over here. No, we don't want that one. Those ones suck. We want the price label. So this would be your major overhead resistance up here, right? At the 92 cents. But it could be like it would hit it over here more on the 14th or 15th. So it'd be about 88 cents, right? So I'd pay attention in the XRP to see if it does this, trades back down, hits the 78 cent level, gets bought back up and starts trading up into this major overhead 95 cent line, horizontal, a descending overhead resistance in our channel from top left to bottom right, and then the fib circle right here again too. These got three areas all converging on each other to where if you come and dance, hit this ring and bounce off, this is your major overhead resistance, and you could trade sideways and then collapse back down and fall back within this channel, and then there's another support down there. So that's what we're going to watch out for in the XRP, because if you can't hold support, unfortunately, there's a moving average. You say, well, what the fuck do you have this circle here for? Well, there's a moving average here in probably the 4-hour time frame, and this would be oh no, that's the double bottom low. That's where you would come down for double bottom low. But if you couldn't hold that, this would be where you're going next. But that's why we still have this here. Let's put my little line back on here, because we're forecasting at least a double bottom. And then you could be trading into something like this underneath. Say you slipped down, did all that, and then came down and double bottom. Then you could be trading within this triangle, right? You could be, see how you got a new triangle forming there? So we're going to keep an eye on that. That's your step down. And then your overhead resistance is 88 cents. Your short-term underneath support is 78 cents. Your major underneath support, or a flash crash underneath support, would be all the way down here at the double bottom at 57 cents, right? And then major overhead resistance is this green volume indicator, which starts at $1.05 right up here along this orange ring. But this is $1.05 starts this major volume indicator, just like when we were breaking down $1.06 on the other side. Was major overhead support. Now this is major overhead resistance in that green volume traded range, right? So that's what we're looking at there. And then we're going to go to XLM real quick. You can see XLM, we've done phenomenal TA on this, and we're going to break this down in a super simple, easy way to trade this market. Now, you guys remember, as we went over this with this ring system that we were playing, when we felt this was dead on for XLM, we're going to go back in here in a brief history. When we were back here, in this big circle area up here, we were telling you the whole time your underneath support was this 0.236 Fibonacci retracement right here, and you bounced off it a bunch right here, and we kept telling you on any one of these pumps, as high as you were going to get was this upper ring, right? And then we formed this little consolidation here, and we showed you how if you broke down out of this, the targeted move would be from there to there, and you would come down and get supported on this ring, and you did. Then you got bought back up, and we had this circle at 42 cents up here because we knew this was going to be your overhead sell pressure. You came back down, almost down to the ring again, and got supported right here, and then you pumped up and hit that ring beautifully. And we told you, as soon as you ever overshot and hit this ring, that would be immediate flush, and that would be an all jabroni enticing double top right there, right? You see that? And then we told you would start playing the range. Your first support would be this 36 cent ring. Then if you broke it, your next support would be 31 cents. And then every time you break them, they like to bounce up to the 200-day that's down sloping and get forced down, and then back test it, and then get bounced up, and then get rejected. Then you play it in the next ring. And then you see you had a nice big overshoot back up, and then you back test from the 29 cent support ring. You back test the 34 cent resistance ring that used to be support when it was breaking down from the top side, right? And they always like to do this. They ride up the underneath side of it on any kind of triangle, bullish, or any kind of symmetrical triangle, a descending, ascending, bull flag. When they break out of them, up or down, they like to back test them, and then they get rejected on the downside, and then you see it flush straight through the 29 cent ring where you got supported last time, straight through the next ring underneath, right? and came all the way down to the 25-cent level ring, right? But watch what's fascinating when it did that. See that? It came all the way down to here and hit all the way down at this 20 down over here because it's an uptrending ring. It was 20.2, almost 21 cents, just under 21 cents on the big wick, and it got bought back up immediately, shot through the 25-cent ring, came all the way up to this next ring that is the underneath one from 29 that it should have went to, but it wicked past it, right? Comes up to it, gets held as support, comes below it, gets hit as resistance, dips back down to the 25-cent ring, quickly gets bought back up and through the 28-cent ring, then back tests the 28-cent ring as support, comes up into the 50, or comes back up, yeah, into the 50, the 100, and 200 in red, blue, and green from bottom to top, gets chopped down right by the 200, comes back to the 28, flushes through it, then comes back up, hits the moving averages, flushes down, almost hits the ring, comes back up, and now you can see what it's doing. You're coming back down here, right? You got to retest this. This is your next move. If you come down, you're coming down to the 25-cent ring. If you try to break up right now, the highest you're going to get is back testing this 28-cent ring because you got this 200-day moving average charging in the downward direction, and that'll act as a bread truck to bam, smack it and beat it down right back to this ring, and you're going to end up there a little bit later, a little bit higher. And then if you can't hold that, you're coming all the way back down, because whenever you get these big wicks, I don't care if you're in crypto, stocks, gold, silver, mining companies, when you get a big flush and a big wick right there, you see that big wick? Let's zoom into that big wick. See that? See how the candle body's way up there, right? And you got your big wick right there. And then you get the buyers that were just sitting there stacked at the 22-cent line and it drove it back up. These love to do what it's doing here, a nice up and sideways consolidation, and they most always eventually slither its way back into double bottom, and then if it wants to make a big bull pump, it can. It's almost always happens, right? So that's what I would watch out for in the XLM. Like, subscribe, and share to Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. Peace and love. Peace and love.